Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barbies and Kens, Chelseas of all ages, and everyone else, welcome to Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast. I'm your host, John, and with me I have my co-host, Jay. Oh, you slimy ninny. For those of you just joining us, we are a podcast about Barbie movies. Every week we watch one of the straight-to-DVD animated Barbie movies and we rate its story, characters, animation, voice acting, and music to see how it stacks up. This week we'll be talking about the 29th animated Barbie movie, Barbie in Princess Power.
Yeah, this is Barbie's first superhero adventure.
Superheroes. Great.
Yeah, this is something that we have a bit more experience in than like mermaid movies.
So, Jay, do you like superhero movies?
Yeah, I was going through this last night because I don't know, it feels like the last few years have been a bit tough for superhero movies.
Yeah.
So I actually went through and like looked at what was the last superhero movie that I liked from beginning to end. And the answer I came up with was Werewolf by Night, which
That was a
barely
movie.
that barely
movie.
counts either as a movie or as superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
And then before that it was The Batman.
Okay.
So that was almost a year ago, or maybe even a year ago.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen a superhero movie that was like, yeah.
Yeah.
How
No,
about you?
I mean, I like superhero movies. I mean, I'm also tired of a lot of them now.
Yeah.
Specifically, like once they found a formula for it, it's not as fun. But I think superheroes work their best in TV animation, in
Okay.
cartoons specifically. They work really nice. They're well developed, um, and it gives time to breathe. Now, I also do not like superhero stories in other medium.
Okay.
Let me explain this. So, when you watch a cartoon or a kid show, typically you'll see the exact same episode types in every show. So you have the beach episode, you have the camping episode, some other episode,
The Wild West episode.
maybe, yeah. All the genres. One of those genres is sadly the superhero episodes. They're not good, ever, because the story is exactly the same. Your main character is either watching their TV show about superheroes or reading their comic books about their favorite superhero. Then they go out and do something, and guess what? Whoa, that show or comic book was based on a real life superhero. And then they want to be a superhero too, and so they try and be a superhero, and then the real superhero is like, no, you suck. But then they save the superhero, and by the end, it's like, you know what? You're a pretty good superhero. And then they don't be superheroes. And then we never see that hero again in the rest of the show. This happens a lot. It's happened in almost every Ninja Turtle show that I've seen. It's happened in shows like Ben 10. Frickin' My Little Pony had an episode like this.
Phineas and Ferb, I think, does.
Yeah.
Is Gravity Falls? It has an episode that is at least that same structure.
But not a superhero one.
Yeah.
Luckily. So like any show from the 90s and early 2000s, yeah, you'll probably find a superhero episode in there. The Fairly Odd Parents had one. SpongeBob had one, except SpongeBob's comedic. They treat it differently. Everyone else exactly the same plot. And so here we have this film about a superhero and Barbie. Do they mix? No. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so this was released March 4th, 2015, and I feel like that is important context here
Yeah,
because this is sort of like in the middle of this sort of big superhero craze.
yeah, yeah.
This year we had like the Fantastic Four movie, the second Avengers movie, the first Ant-Man movie, other movies, I believe. And then like the next year there were going to be like more X-Men movies and Deadpool and Batman versus Superman, and so it's like this is sort of the maybe arguably the first year of superheroes sort of taking over the
I
culture.
I'd say it's more like 2014 because that was
Yeah, I the reason I hesitate is because there was still like Hunger Games and Hobbit and that kind of stuff was still kind of hanging around in 2014, whereas
that was like at the
2015 it's
very
like
end of its lifespan.
yeah, 2015 is like all superheroes all the time, and then I'm obviously there were other movies and Star Wars was pretty big as well, but that kind of felt like the year of like okay now we're all in on superheroes. And yeah, I think pretty much every sort of franchise of the Barbie variety, or as you mentioned, like animated TV shows, were like trying to do their superhero episode. And this is Barbie's superhero episode.
And of course, like it's nothing more than to sell toys. Of course,
Yeah.
it's not because they have a wonderful story. It's like, you know what? Let's sell toys. The first note I have in this film is toyetic because the first
Okay, with
shot
the
is yeah, because the first shot we have Barbie with that glider that looks like a toy. It's like, oh, yep, that's toyetic.
yep. That I hadn't even thought of that. That's a very like because it looks ugly and the design of it is terrible, but that totally makes sense as like you can slip it over the doll.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. So, but no, that is yeah. But yeah, anyway, this movie is directed by Ezekiel Norton, who you've heard his name quite a few times if you've listened. He's
Mm-hmm.
been directing quite a few of these and will continue to direct quite a few of these. And it's written by Marcia Griffin. This is, I believe, her first Barbie movie,
Yeah.
but she had previously written episodes for animated shows like Kim Possible, Ben 10, Batman the Brave and the Bold, and other animated superhero shows.
Well, it's good that they decided to go with someone who is familiar with writing for superheroes.
Yeah.
Those episodes, they're fine. They're
Okay.
okay. They're acceptable. They're not the most memorable. Depends who you ask,
yeah.
but they're acceptable. They're good.
Yeah, I think that is a smart thing by Mattel at the very least that they're like, let's bring in someone who has the experience with more like superhero, and I guess Kim Possible isn't quite superhero, but is superhero
It's like
adjacent.
Super Spy, which we'll
Yeah.
get later. Then
Yep.
because we know that she writes that one as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do have music by Jim Dooley, who again this is I think his second one. I don't know if he does any more, but he
Okay.
is mainly a composer for horror movies.
Mm.
Oh no, this is his third one because he did Red Shoes and Pearl Princess.
Okay.
But yeah, mostly does horror movies and then did 3 Barbie movies in the middle of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we follow Kara, possibly a reference to Supergirl.
Supergirl and Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, isn't Captain Marvel Carol though?
It's Carol, but except like Kara Danvers and Carol Danvers is their secret name.
Okay.
Why are they the same? I don't know.
But yeah, anyway, Kara is the princess of Windermere, this sort of
Mm-hmm.
like kingdom in the middle of a bunch of mountains, and
Why is
she
it
is.
Windemere? Why
I
not
feel like
Mountamere?
I feel like I've heard the name Windermere before, but I couldn't place it.
Mm-hmm.
I googled it, and it's like apparently like a bunch of different various real estate stuff. But anyway,
Yeah,
Kingdom of
she's
Windermere.
adventurous.
Yep, and her parents are kind of holding her back,
Hmm.
sort of very overprotective. But the king's most trusted advisor, Baron von Ravendale,
Mm.
he's secretly plotting to overthrow the ruling family. And
And
so,
other stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he creates this potion to give him superpowers, but he spills it into a drain where it falls on a caterpillar. And that caterpillar turns into a butterfly, a magic butterfly, or radioactive if you prefer, that
Yeah.
then
Radioactive.
kisses Kara on the cheek and gives her superpowers.
Yeah. So Kara starts going around the kingdom and she starts saving people because she has the powers and stopping robberies under the name Super Sparkle.
Yeah, we'll talk about that name a bit.
Yeah.
Um, but her cousin, I believe it's her cousin. I don't know that they
Maybe
say.
it's a sister. I don't know.
Yeah, someone related to her somehow that isn't. I don't think it's her sister because the two young girls are her sisters. I think the familial relationships in this movie are not well
I
established.
mean, Skipper is like the second
Yeah,
oldest.
but anyway, this person who is related ambiguously to Kara, named Corinne, discovers that Kara's secret identity and puts together that it was the radioactive butterfly. So she finds the butterfly somehow and kisses it to give herself her own superpowers, and she names herself Dark Sparkle.
Dark Sparkle? That's a villain name.
Yeah,
Her outfit doesn't even match that term.
yeah, we'll have to get into like the whole what's going on with Corinne. I wonder if there was a different plot line planned that.
Oh, I feel like there's a couple plot lines that they were going with.
Yeah. But anyway, they're kind of like they start competing, Kara and Corinne, to be like, who's the better hero? But meanwhile, in the background, Baron
Baron.
von Ravendale, he is able to recreate the potion even stronger and drinks
Reporter
it.
puts together that Super Sparkle is really Kara and leaks the information, and Kara gets grounded by her parents.
Yep, that was the reason she had her secret identity, was so she wouldn't get grounded.
Just for that.
I mean, that's the exact reason she gives.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if it's like a few days later or like that same day. Barrett is like, "Oh, Super Sparkle's out of commission," so he flies into the throne room and declares that he is taking over the kingdom. And
Why does he say that? Like, oh, they're out of commission. No, they're not. They're just grounded. In
yeah,
fact, that's even worse because they're right where you need to be.
yeah, yeah. Well, he doesn't. No one knows who Dark Sparkle is until this moment, where Kara and Corinne both kind of fight him, but they're refusing to work together, and Kara doesn't want to work with Corinne because she's annoyed that Corinne is stealing her thunder. So Corinne just kind of leaves. And the Baron goes up to the big mountain that the whole castle is built on the sides of and triggers a volcanic eruption.
Mm-hmm.
And Kara has to then, it like fills the castle courtyards and everything.
Yeah.
And then it's going to go over the bridge into the city.
No. It's weird because, like, from we saw that first perspective, it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, it's gonna hit the city. But the angle we have it at, it's like, oh no, it's just a bridge. You're fine. It's gonna hit the water. And then we cut to the next shot, and the city is now on the other side of the bridge, in the way of the lava.
So yeah, in any case, regardless of what the geography of this country really is, Kara has to shoot her way through the ground to create this trench to diverge the flow of lava. And she's having a difficult time with it until Corinne shows up. It's like, hey, I'm here to help. And then they successfully divert the flow of lava, but then the Baron shows up again and they have to work together to defeat him. And then Kara's parents are so impressed that they are like, okay, you can go be a superhero now.
They don't care at all about Corinne.
Nope. she there has to be something more going on with her character.
Yeah, no, it's just so odd.
Yeah.
Because even Baron said at one point, it's like, you could be working on my side. You're doing half the job.
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
Yeah.
That's odd.
Yeah, and I wish that they would have done something there because this is really a very standard superhero origin story.
It is very, yeah, very standard. Also, she wants to open a community garden.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
No,
was another plot point.
it's her friends that want to do it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like fun," and then never shows up. It's the
No, no,
classic
no,
like,
no. Well, no, wasn't that her idea? And then she became a superhero, and then she ignored it.
oh, it might have been her idea, but the her friends were the ones who are kind of like pushing her to do it, and she didn't want
Yeah.
to because now she's a superhero, and then she ends up doing it at the end to
Mm-hmm.
show her character growth.
Yeah. That's like another point where I felt like that plot point was going to be stronger, but then I thought, nah.
Yeah. Yeah, the friends are also kind of the role they play in the story is very limited
Mm-hmm.
for what you might expect. Which is like that's the thing, the times that this movie breaks with sort of superhero tropes, it's not working in its favor.
No. What is this world? Like, are there superheroes in this world? Uh, do they have comic books? Is there a TV show? None of that
Yeah.
is ever introduced. There's no reason to understand superheroes, and yet they have all these references. All the
Yeah.
references in this film. You got Spider-Man, you got Superman references. It's all over the place.
Yeah. For me, part of it just comes down to that Kara doesn't have very interesting powers.
Well, no, yeah, no, exactly. That's another reason why I didn't really like superhero stuff in other shows. It's because they're all exact copies of
Yeah.
like Superman or Batman. It's mostly Superman, but here it's like generic powers.
Yeah, I was thinking like what if, because her name is Super Sparkle, and the only sparkly thing she does is like shoot energy balls that are dumb.
Well, she also
But
does hearts with sparkles.
oh sure. Sure, I guess.
Yeah,
But what if instead of like what if her powers were light based? So I'm imagining almost like Ms. Marvel in the TV show where she can like catch people or like
yeah, from the TV
here's
show.
my pitch. Um like it's not the greatest thing, but if we're gonna name her Super Sparkle, like give her light based powers, and then
Like
when
Starlight from The Boys.
yeah, that I'm thinking more like I guess I haven't seen much of The Boys past season 1, so
All right.
but yeah. So some kind of light based powers, and then have Corinne, she's Dark Sparkle, shadow based powers. It's
Oh,
right
you mean like
there.
Green Lantern?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And then because you have then there these opposing forces, and then the Baron makes this super extra strength potion that gives him both the light and the shadow powers.
Okay.
So now they're both, he can exploit both of their weaknesses. So now
Th-
they have to work together to defeat the
right.
Baron.
Okay.
This is just like my very quick pitch based
Already,
on
it's much more detailed than what we have. What we have is very basic.
yeah, give me something even like just even giving Kara like a clear weakness would be so much better than like what they have, which is oh she can fly and she's strong and she shoots energy
hmm
balls.
Yeah. Also, what's the Baron's plan? He's like, I'm gonna take over the throne. Then he d- covers the kingdom in lava.
I I think you could interpret that as like he's desperate, so but yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Like, I was expecting him to just destroy the tower.
Yeah.
Just, like, pick it up, move it away.
Yeah,
Not,
because it's established that Kara can just like casually lean the tower.
yeah. Why can't the. Why does he have to go to a dormant volcano? Like, fine, I'll burn them out of submission.
Also, why do you even need to worry about them? They're locked in that room that you later find out can be locked from the outside.
Yeah. Why does he have a frog?
Just leave them there.
Why does he talk to his frog as if it can understand him?
Why can the frog understand him, and why can he understand the frog?
What is this world? Like, where are the other superheroes? Are there other superheroes? I don't know. Why do they know so much about superheroes? Who are
Yeah.
these people?
I think one of the most frustrating moments in the movie, and I mean, it could have worked, but it's just like, so there's this famous idea called Save the Cat, which is when you're introducing your superhero to show that they're good, you have them do a very small act of goodness that is like something that they're going out of their way to do, but in doing that sort of small thing you're like, okay, they are genuinely a good person. They aren't just like stopping bank robberies, they're saving cats from trees. That is the first thing Kara does as a superhero. Like, she literally saves the cat.
Yeah.
Like, there's I think it's supposed to be a reference, but it just kind of feels like with the rest of it there's no creativity there. Like, it's literally she wakes up and there's a cat in a tree, and then she's like, oh, I'm gonna save the cat.
And it's my cat, too.
Yeah.
It's not even someone else's cat. She
Like,
doesn't even
it's
know she has powers yet. She's
yeah.
just like, oh, I'm going to save my cat. Oh, no, I nearly died. Oh, hey, I can fly.
Like, if you're gonna have someone save a cat, have Corinne save the cat, because you need to establish that she is doing this for the right reasons.
Are they? Are they doing this for
That's
the
what
right
I don't
reasons?
know. I mean,
Yeah.
Kara probably, but
No, I don't know. Is she doing it for the attention? What's she doing it for?
yeah, we should probably jump into characters now that we're kind of getting into that. But I gave the
Yeah.
plot a 2.5 out of 5. Oh, I did
Yeah.
want to ask you. You said you were considering halfway through the movie bumping your score up. I wanted to ask.
Okay. So, yeah, no. I started out with a baseline of 2.5. It's like, okay, just basic superhero story. It's like, but then they brought back the idea of the community garden. I was like, oh, is that going to be an
Okay.
eternal conflict where she's going to shrug off her friends for this? But no, they completely forget about that plot line until the very end. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, so for this entire list here, we both had the exact same scores. A
Yes.
rarity, for sure. So yeah, I also had a 2.5 for a story.
Yeah, it's doing the superhero origin story stuff, and it's not really adding anything to it.
It's like a watered down superhero story that you get from a 20-minute episode, but you're extending it.
Yeah.
So it's not as detailed. It's not as interesting. It's just, I need something real quick. Let me just do this. What are all the tropes? Here we go. There's your story.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because yeah, we do have a writer who's familiar with the superhero genre.
Yeah, they do go on to be like an executive producer for like all of the Marvel animated shows in the
Yeah.
2010s. Are those shows good? Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have liked if this were like, even if it were just like stuffed to to the gills with references.
Uh It was.
Well, it was, but more. More
Right.
obscure.
We
Give
had
me.
a random Nutcracker reference.
Yes. I mean,
Why?
superhero references.
Why? Why the Nutcracker? I get it's the first Barbie movie, but why?
But yeah, anyway, on to the characters. We talked a bit about Kara. She starts out as a pretty typical Barbie hero, and she even, like,
Mm-hmm.
as we were saying, she saves the cat. Um, I do like that she gets wrapped up in being a superhero. I know this is the arc that they all go through. It's the
Yeah.
origin story arc.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, the community garden thing, I think it worked better for me than it did for you, just because, like, it felt to me like a bit more of a consistent source of conflict. It wasn't at all like a consistent thing, but I did feel that showing up a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as you said, it could have been like a bigger point with her character.
Yeah. No, it's kind of shrugged off. Even the friends kind of shrug it off.
Yeah, I
It
think
just want to
that's
go
where
back,
it's
and then they bring it back at the end. It's like, oh,
yeah.
yeah, why? What was your revelation here to do this thing? Usually, there's a revelation in lost superhero films where they start out becoming a superhero for all the wrong reasons, and by the end, they decide, okay, I'm doing it because I actually care.
Yeah. And that's where you want like the weakness so that the person can lose their power and have that revelation.
Mhm. Unless you're the Green Hornet, then no, you're still bad.
But yeah, the one of the biggest things with her character is that Super Sparkle is just a bad name.
It's such a bad name. Honestly, no, that should be something that they do in My Little Pony. Why here? Did they do that in My Little Pony? Maybe.
Like, drop the super.
Not even
She's just
Sparkle.
she's just Sparkle. Sparkle is better than Super Sparkle. It's
Yeah,
not
no, no.
great,
You're right.
but
You're right.
like, minimum effort. If you're like, Sparkle's the only thing we can think of, drop the super.
Midnight Sparkle.
Uh,
No.
that's no. I here's the thing. I think the Sparkle part, I understand, the target audience of this movie is going to be more into the name Sparkle than
Shimmering Sparkle. No.
that.
No.
No, that might. It's still better than Super Sparkle.
Yeah, no. Sparkle.
Now, speaking of Sparkle, we have Dark
Dark Sparkle.
Sparkle herself. But yeah, as we've been kind of talking around, she could have been a really interesting character, but she just doesn't get any focus.
No, no. And when she became a superhero, I was like, what, really? Oh, she was
Yeah,
kind of like a side character until now. Okay, I guess this is important.
yeah, because I like this thing of she's a bit. What's a good word for it? Like in the scene with the butterfly, Kara's like, or she's like trying to swat the butterfly. Kara's like, no, and like stops her from killing the butterfly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when she's introduced like that, I'm like, oh, there's gonna be this interpersonal conflict between the two of them, and you could have it play out like a lot of these Barbie movies do, where it's like this interpersonal conflict. Eventually, they have to like learn, oh, we work together, we have to work together, or it can be more of like a Did you ever see the movie Chronicle? The sort of found footage superhero movie.
A long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like three friends get superpowers and one of them goes evil.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could have that arc as well, where it's like, oh, she's trying to kill the butterfly, and that indicates that she is going to be the bad guy, and she joins forces with the Baron, and then maybe she betrays him, and that's what helps Kara win the day. But no, she's just kind of like,
She's there.
even when like the idea of her getting superpowers is introduced, it's like it feels
Why?
like it's because she's jealous of Kara, and is like, I want the attention, I want the fame, but then she's like saving people like a superhero, and not in like a self-serving I want the fame way, more in a like she is competing with Kara, but
There's no responsibility that she has to do this.
yeah.
She's just doing it because reasons.
Yeah. It's odd. And there could have been so much with this character, and that's kind of why I wonder if there's a different draft of the script where Corinne is a bit more of a complex character, and then Mattel was like, no, we don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
We want to sell dolls of this character. We can't have that character be the bad guy for half the movie.
Yeah, maybe it's like the Elsa thing from
Yeah,
Frozen.
that's a good reference, because that was up until very late in development. Elsa was planned to just be the villain,
Mm-hmm.
and then even like adding in, I guess I don't know if the character was added in or the role slightly changed, but having this villain who's more clearly evil sort of taking center focus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Have you gotten into like there's some weird stuff with the Frozen thing where there's like a Japanese trailer that where like Elsa is the villain of the trailer.
I remember the initial teaser trailer when we in
Yeah.
theaters when we yeah, no, I remember
Yeah.
seeing the early trailers when we watched the film in theaters. What film was it? I don't remember. But yeah, no, she was clearly evil in that one.
Yeah.
There was no question about it. Evil laugh and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, and then that trailer, those trailers have been like scrubbed from existence. Like
Have they
I'm sure
now?
you could probably find it, but yeah, those are things that like Disney was like, no, we can't have evil Elsa. I'll have to look into that again, because I want to see that again. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, we have to see
this sort
that.
of like late stage changes, and yeah, I don't know. This is just speculation on
It
our part.
is.
But it just, there's so much that could have been done with this character that would have made the movie a bit more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, they just kind of go for like she's kind of purposeless until the
Yeah,
end.
sadly, yeah.
And then, yeah, speaking of purposelessness,
Oh,
Madison and Michaela, they are the classic
yeah.
guy in the chair,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't ever get to be in the chair.
No, they talk about the theory of her being a superhero. They take
Yeah.
notes, but that's about it. They make her costume, but that's
Yep.
about it.
Yeah, there's no earpiece, there's no back and forth, there's no if you turn 20 degrees west to divert the flow of lava. No, they just disappear for that entire last
Well,
action scene.
they were around during her patrols. They were letting her know
Yeah.
of these dangers, but now, no. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
They disappeared. Did they
It would have
run?
been they like made a cool bat cave. It would have been nice to see them use the bat cave.
Yeah.
Like I guess we don't ever see Alfred using the bat cave, but still.
What? What do you mean we don't ever see Alfred
At least not in the movies. In the shows, I think you see more.
I mean,
but
in the recent films we do, but
yeah.
no, he's in the Batcave all the time in the shows for sure,
Okay. Yeah.
all the time. They never use the mansion in the shows. It's always the Batcave. In the films, it's always the mansion. It's never the Batcave.
Yeah. I would have even had like give them Iron Man suits and have them join the like big battle at the end. That's a bit much, but if we're
honest, I would bring down my score for that.
maybe if they ever made a sequel to this, that would be my pitch.
I mean, they were testing a glider at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. That just feels like the way you take the characters, not to have them completely disappear for the last third of the movie.
It's a CW show now. Every side character's a hero.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, next up we have Baron von Ravendale.
Honestly, the best part of the film.
Oh yeah. Every time, every scene he's in is just 10 times better than any of the other scenes.
But he has a frog, which is like, but
Yeah.
he's there, which is great. He's
His
the best.
lines, his line readings. We'll talk about the voice acting here, but
Yeah.
just so much fun. I kind of wish he had gotten like a supervillain outfit at the end.
I know. I was like, ooh, he's laughing evilly in the shadow. What has he become? Oh, he's just normal.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's a bit, he's even just wearing the same outfit.
It's like, oh, you didn't want to dress up to be like a royal king, evil king or
Yeah.
something? No, just my normal Baron outfit. The mystery's gone. The frog even gets a mask. Well,
Yeah. Where did the frog get that mask?
I don't know. Where did the cats and the dog get the mask?
Okay, good point.
Super pets.
So did you catch why he wants the throne?
Because the chair was so comfy.
Well, that and because but the thing he says, and it's hilarious, is because his great grandfather or something used to be king, and then lost the throne in a game of rock paper scissors.
I did not catch that. No. How did I miss that? What?
It's like in the first scene where he's making the potion.
Oh.
That's
Is
his
it so
motivation.
casual? Is it so casual? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
That's why I wanted to check if you caught it.
I did not catch that. No. I just thought it was the basic I want to be king because that explains why he was saying like, "Oh, I deserve the throne that belongs to me" at the end. That makes more sense instead of it's so comfy. I want to sit in it.
Yep. I just found that motivation kind of funny.
I
The idea
mean,
that his family lost the throne in a game of rock paper scissors.
yeah.
But yeah, last up on the sort of important characters is Wes Rivers.
Wes Rivers.
He could have been a very interesting part of the movie.
Oh, he could have been. He's so underutilized, and
Yeah.
it's just not written well.
He's initially he seems like he's going to be the Lois Lane type. And even I was getting the sense of like a potential flirtation between Super Sparkle and him, though his character was also like reading gay to me, so I was a bit confused, like what are they going with? But no, it's just like nothing happens, and then he actually is the one who like leaks Super Sparkle's identity.
He doesn't even confront her about it.
No, he's just
like that would have been more interesting.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, it just leaks immediately, and the parents ground her. It's like, wait, what?
I kind of like that sort of subversion.
Kinda,
like,
yeah, but it's so rushed.
Yeah, you need more on his motivation.
Yeah, no.
Something to make him an actual character, not just like someone who is in the background and then becomes important to the plot and then disappears and then has like this moment of Kara kind of flirting with him at the end. And then that's the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of underdeveloped or just sidelined characters in this.
Yeah. It's... I think for me, like, the Baron being so much fun kind of breaks up my character score. But I did give it a 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, like maybe it's a bit harsh compared to other films, but again, there's just so many characters that could have the opportunity to fulfill because they're clearly trying to be like other superhero side
Yeah.
characters, but they're underutilized, they're sidelined, they're ignored, they're forgotten, and they're not interesting.
Yeah. You brought up the idea of this is a superhero episode expanded. I'm kind of
Yeah,
feeling like this is a superhero movie that's been like cut down. Like I wonder if there's an original
it,
script of this that's
it's like that
longer
too. Yeah, yeah, probably.
where and then Mattel was like, "Oh, this is too expensive. Just like cut out as much as you can."
Hmm.
Because it makes sense to be like, "Okay, well, let's cut out most of Corinne's arc, let's cut out most of West River's arc and focus on Kara." But you have those
Yeah.
sort of vestiges of more interesting ideas that are still
Hmm.
left.
Yeah. No, at first I thought the frog was gonna turncoat, but then the frog was just
Yeah.
I don't know what the frog was. It was there
Yep. The frog did stuff.
with his tongue. It's a lot
Yes.
of frog tongue in this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Kind of weird.
It's like Toad in the X-Men movies.
But a lot more tongue. uh
You know
yeah,
what happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning?
same thing as everything else.
I like that joke. I know it gets a bad rap, but I like that.
It's not bad. It's maybe it's the delivery. I don't know.
I'm a fan of it. Anyway, on to the
Fun.
animation.
It's fun. Yeah. On to the animation. First note, no look good. That's what I wrote.
There are elements I think that look good, but
Elements, yes, elements.
the biggest thing that is staring at you this entire movie is
Yes.
Barbie's face.
Barbie.
She looks like Gollum.
Yes.
She has these big eyes and then like sunken cheeks and a very shallow jaw. She has the exact same
Yes.
facial structure as Gollum from the Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Like in some lights and in some angles it looks fine, and then she'll like turn her head slightly and it'll be like,
It's like, oh, what is this?
yeah.
Also, a lot of the other characters are just they use the exact same face. Like
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that the two friends are the exact same character model.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me since they're like
And
palette swapped even.
I think that they're very similar to Barbie's model, except the sunken cheeks.
Yeah. And they look better than Barbie without the sunken cheeks. Yeah, in general, they're going for a more cartoony look. And
I wish they delved more into that.
yeah, for the supporting cast, it looks pretty good, especially the Baron, I think.
Oh yeah,
And they're like very expressive. Even Barbie, she is very expressive. It doesn't work with her facial structure, but she is very expressive in this in a way that's
you gotta love the generic costumes.
Yeah.
So generic. It's
Yeah,
like,
when
it's
she
just boots,
transforms,
cape, and it's pink.
yeah,
It's like, oh really?
yeah, it isn't even sparkly, is it?
It does when she flies.
Okay.
Initially, that's it.
Yeah. The
We didn't mention this before, but I did enjoy the sisters.
okay.
Enjoying
Oh yeah, because
the
they're
superhero. I liked their relationship, the little sisters with Kara. That was fun and cute.
yeah.
It's just very subtle.
It's that sort of classic, like the superhero's younger sibling doesn't know that they're the superhero. That's always kind of a fun thing.
Except it's typically when they find out they're so mad. It's like, you were a superhero and you didn't tell me? I hate you so much. You lied to me.
Yeah,
Can't
here
believe
it's like
it's
it
like
reminded me a bit of Shazam, the movie.
yeah.
Although they don't turn into superheroes at the end.
No. But they don't they love the superheroes. They're like,
Yeah.
you're so awesome. I love the finger pointing. The thumbs up, the thumbs down.
The thumbs up to thumbs down was
I know.
incredible.
It's just small little things, but it helped build those characters for me.
Yeah.
It's like That was nice.
Listen, the thumbs up to thumbs down moment is so brilliant.
It-
It's Kara sitting on the throne, and she gives her parents a thumbs up, and her parents aren't happy with her, so her dad like leans in and pushes her hand so that it's a thumbs down. I immediately turned to my sister who was watching this with me and did a thumbs up, and she pushed it to thumbs down because we wanted to try if it actually works.
No, yeah.
Yeah, those cartoony moments, like I'm not the biggest fan of the cartoony style as opposed to some of the more like softer, prettier styles that we've seen, but it is when it works well, and that's mainly when Barbie isn't on screen.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, the sets ranged from like okay to mostly good. Everything feels
Mostly.
a little too empty, but
Times, yeah.
yeah, especially like the castle outside.
hmm Oh my goodness, the initial sequence where she saves the construction worker. Everything was so clumsy.
Yeah.
It's like this happened and this happened. Oh, luckily this happened. Oh, and then this happened. It's like what?
Well, it's
What is
the
this chain
movie.
reaction of events?
The movie is obsessed with Rube Goldberg machines.
I know.
There's like 5 of them.
Yeah.
Or I guess they would be sequences because they're not really machines. There's like
Right.
5 of them throughout the course of the movie.
Half of them are done by the frog.
Yeah. Yeah. I gave the animation a 2.5 out of 5.
Same as me. It's on the same level as Perfect Christmas.
Yeah. I would say it looks.
Some aspects are better,
Yeah.
but it's like to what we've been having recently is such a letdown.
Yeah. Especially Barbie.
Barbie. Oh,
Barbie should not look like Gollum.
Barbie brings it down so much. Ugh.
Like I know this is a hot take, but Barbie and Gollum should be visually distinct characters.
I had to write that down. That's a quote. That's a quote. I'm writing this down.
I'll post it on the Instagram when this episode goes live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next up we have voice acting, which Kelly Sheridan.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say this time around.
She's giving a different performance than usual, and I think it mostly works. It did take me a second to adjust to, like, when it started, and maybe it's just because we've had a few weeks where we haven't watched any Barbie movies, but I was kind of like, is that Kelly Sheridan?
Oh no, it is.
And then after a while, I was like, okay, yeah, that's Kelly Sheridan.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of newer people that I didn't really recognize in this cast.
Yeah. We has Britt Irvin been in any of these?
I think she has one.
Okay. She plays Corinne.
Yeah.
Patricia Drake, I feel like we've seen her name a few times as well.
Probably.
But yeah, quite a few sort of newer people.
Yeah,
we do also have
we still have Tabitha and Kathleen.
Yep.
But I don't know when they were in this film.
Yeah, they're not playing major characters. Brian Drummond as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of feels like they're slowly rotating the casts out.
To be fair, this is still the height of Pony.
Yep. And yeah, it makes sense that not everyone would want to be making Barbie movies forever, but yeah. The one performance I did want to spotlight is Michael Kopsa, who's a Canadian TV actor, does a lot of roles. Unfortunately, he passed away in October of 2022, but he plays Baron von Ravendale.
Yeah, no, I was looking through his IMDb. He did a lot of work. Mostly like for bigger films, just small, very small characters for like a couple seconds. Like he was in Watchmen, the first Fantastic Four. He was in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I think his performance here is easily the best part of the movie.
Oh yeah.
he's like always at an 11, and the rest of the movie is usually at around like a 6. Like there is no variation in the energy of his performance, but it works because it
Hmm.
contrasts with everything else in the movie.
Yeah, no, he just had a nice voice to go with his character. It worked well.
Yeah. He's good at the evil laugh. He sells the villain. I would go so far as to say like this character wouldn't be interesting without his performance.
Yeah.
And yeah, since the anytime his character was on screen was immediately better.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Can I take a second to go back to animation?
yes.
That butterfly.
Why did it have a human face?
Yeah. Why did it kiss Kara?
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
so
yeah.
ugly. Also, Kara almost committed uh manslaughter when she threw the police car at the
Yes.
robber.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, there's a robber running away. Let me throw a car.
Oh, but luckily I left the door open, so he just went right in. Also,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this car at the other guy, and then throw the car at the police officer, who all luckily got inside the car
In the correct seats as well.
in the correct seats.
Yeah, that was I guess it worked out for her, but oh boy.
Yeah, that involuntary manslaughter.
Almost. It only counts
Almost.
if someone actually dies.
But no, she threw that car, and I was like, what? Like, he's
Wouldn't
not
that
gonna.
be voluntary manslaughter?
At that point, it would be, but like, if the cop was in the way, it's like, no, there you go.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, no,
I mean,
voice acting, typically good, but not a whole lot to say this time around.
yeah. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, which is our standard for good performance.
Yeah. Then yeah, finally we have music, which the score is mostly fine, but there are a few moments that did not quite work.
Mm-hmm.
The big one that stood out to me is the first scene where Super Sparkle, she's rescuing the people at the construction site,
Yeah.
and the music is like not selling the danger of the situation at all.
No, it's
Like
just
it's
following the goofy nature of the machine.
yeah, it feels too light, and it almost feels like it's intentionally there to undersell the danger of the situation. And this goes into one of my sort of theories about this movie, that I think they're aiming it towards a younger audience than usual for these Barbie movies.
Did you look into any behind the scenes of this film or
There's
anything?
very little behind the scenes information for any of these movies.
Okay.
But yeah, it feels like the last movie and this movie are aiming at a slightly younger audience.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I was maybe a little unimpressed with the score there, but the original songs are catchy.
Yeah, I will say that they're put in the wrong place,
Yeah,
especially
that's
the
fair.
specifically the first montage. It's the wrong song because what she's doing is she's flying for the first time, but the song is about her being a superhero and
Ah,
all these things. Where it's like this is a song for like her first time being out as a superhero, not her
yeah,
first time flying.
yeah. I
Like just
completely
listening to the
missed the.
lyrics, she's talking about all these things specific to being a superhero, and it's like that doesn't match. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know how I missed that, but that's a good catch. That
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was maybe a little bit unimpressed with the music, but I still gave it a 3 out of 5.
It's still a fair score. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah,
Does its
but
job.
besides that one scene at the construction site and a few other moments, nothing stood out to me as
Mm.
actively harmful or not harmful,
Harmful.
actively sort of like working against the movie.
The music is so harmful.
Anyway, yeah, that leaves us both with a final score of 14 out of 25. That is a 56% or a 2.8 on our 5-star scale.
Which is like
It's bottom for
bottom
both of
2
us.
for me.
Yeah. It is at, I believe, similar place for mine. I must have. Oh, there
Bottom
it is.
4 for you.
Yeah. Sort of like around the same area as Perfect Christmas and Thumbelina, and not as low as Barbie Diaries, though. Again, Barbie Diaries is,
I prefer.
yeah, of these sort of movies at the bottom of the list, Barbie Diaries is the one, like, I might be interested in rewatching it at some point.
I kind of just want to buy the DVD for Barbie Diaries.
Yeah, we were looking
Just
up
to have.
beforehand the prices, because you cannot rent this online, and they aren't re-releasing it.
Mm-hmm. So if I want to get a new disc, that's $30. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's how much things cost these days. So
Yeah,
might as well go
inflation
for
and
it.
everything.
It's
What
$5
is
for a used disc, but that's a
yeah
used disc. That's a
tracking
gamble.
inflation using the price of the Barbie Diary DVD?
Why not?
Yeah, this was, yeah. There are so many superhero stories that do what this movie is trying to do.
So much better.
Yeah, and it is a bit of a shame because I can see like ghosts of a better story sort of floating at
Yeah.
the edges of things.
Yeah. I still don't agree with the superhero aspect for Barbie, even though I get it. It's a good toy selling thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to follow us on social media. We're Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram, at Binging Barbie on Twitter, and Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast on Letterboxd, where you can find an up-to-date list of our Barbie movie rankings. We'll be back next week to talk about Barbie and Rockin' Royals.
Yeah.
Oh boy, another one.
Yeah. This one, I'm curious for this one.
I
have
hope the
hope.
music is good.
Yeah,
At
that's gonna
least.
make or break it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Although it's
thank
been
you for
questionable
listening.
these past few times.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.